Oh, sorry. Just had to get the recording going. Okay, so anybody that's in chat, welcome. Or anybody lurking. I just uploaded dual credits test, so those of you that are in dual credit pre-cal, if you take a look at the Google Classroom right here, I did upload the YouTube video link for the hour-long question and answer session we had yesterday. I also uploaded just the scratch work for everything I did. And again, you're not going to see any of my writing if you just click it, right? It looks like a giant blank mess. Be sure you actually save. So here's what you want to do. You want to open in a new window. And again, you're not going to see anything. You have to save it to your device or download. So you need to download this. And see how, I'm using Chrome and it just opens it up down here. Once your computer tries to open it with PowerPoint, see PowerPoint's opening, the actual PowerPoint app, then you can see everything I wrote. And everything here, all the work correlates to stuff I did in the video, just in case you just want to skip through this. Okay, so that's all posted. And then if you want to access the test, good morning. No tardies. There you go. If you want to access the test, dual credit, y'all just got it today. See, I just posted it at 8 a.m. Here is your PDF of your test. If you are filling in the paper from scratch, like you're not actually writing on the PDF, yeah, I am saving this video. So the technical difficulty I had yesterday was I had started the recording, but I don't know how many of you have actually streamed before. I'm using software called OBS, and whenever I tried to start the recording, it lagged out when I clicked it, and apparently it just like double clicked itself and didn't actually start the recording. So today is being recorded. So, I mean, today is not, I don't have any specific topic for today. We're not doing a lecture today or anything like that. But both classes have tests that are due today by midnight. So I figured I'd be answering some questions throughout the day. So, yeah, dual credit, here's your test. Notice how there's a spot for a Lee College ID at the top of every page. If you are filling in the PDF, I need your name and ID on every single page if it is separate files. If you're writing it by hand, or you're doing scratch paper and you're taking pictures, doing anything of the kind, I need to see your name and ID on every page of work. If you're just doing it on notes on your iPad, I don't think it's going to save it as one file, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I do need your name and Lee College ID on the work, because remember, you do have to upload this to Google Classroom and to Blackboard. A couple of comments / emails I got yesterday was that people were having issues with getting to Lee College's help desk. Because, I mean, as you can imagine, they've been swamped by students and by faculty. You're going to get the best results if you try to call them. Don't just try to email. They probably won't get back to you. So I'll pull up the their homepage. I'll go ahead and type it in the chat too. So you're going to get way better results if you call. There it is. So right there's a Lee College's phone number for the help desk, because you're going to have to get onto Blackboard. Okay, so dual credit, your exam just got posted. Pre-cal, y'all's test has been posted since Monday, but it is due tonight by midnight. Also, if you haven't already submitted this graphing sine and cosine number 3, there's several of you that have turned it in, but it is due by tonight as well. This is the one that we got right before spring break. So also, for those of you that had any missing work before the break, like you were absent for a few days or you just didn't turn something in because it was late, just go ahead and attach it to this post, even though it's not this assignment. Anything, go ahead and scan out everything, because I obviously can't get the paper from you. And I'm going to be fixing grades at some point either tonight or tomorrow morning. Because again, remember, y'all's pre-cal, high school pre-cal, y'all's grade books are completely screwed up because all the category weights got changed. I'm going to be fixing all of those back to your progress report grades before the end of the week. So by Friday, you should get an accurate representation of your grade. I should have these done. See, 9 of you have already turned in the test. But I should have the test graded by Friday, I believe. It shouldn't take me too long to grade. Omar. This actually brings up a pretty good point. I am going to be live streaming every single morning. It might not last all 50 minutes, but I'll be here every morning. Also, if you need an individual conference or if you need me to explain something, with actual visuals and with the webcam, I can do the Cisco WebEx thing, or just, hop back onto here and then answer your questions. The one you got right before the break, graphing sine and cosine number 3, yeah, that's due today along with your tests, high school pre-cal. So it's right here. Here's the post. It is a separate tab. So this one's for your homework and this one's for your exam. And remember, yesterday's lecture has nothing to do with the exam. So don't worry too much. But yesterday's lecture has to do with these. These aren't due till Monday. I'm trying to give you way more time than we normally would have in person, just because, again, all of your teachers are transitioning to this online thing. No, Caleb, this is different tests. So if you look, there's 2 files. If you're in regular, use the regular file, this one. If you're in pre-AP, the one with the P on it, use pre-AP. So that's why it says, please use the appropriate level test. If you're in regular and you want to try the pre-AP test, sure, I guess. I'm not going to take off anything for that. If you're in pre-AP and you do the regular test, that's not going to cut it. So honestly, the big difference here between y'all, the levels in this unit, is that regular just does degrees for phase shifting and x-axis stuff, and pre-AP does radians. Yeah, and then as you come up with questions throughout the day, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I know a lot of people are going to be emailing me sporadically throughout the day, so that's completely fine. Hopefully all of you have a calculator at home to work with. I did show y'all how to do that Wabbit emu thing. On Monday. And I mean, it's all over Google if you want to try to do it yourself. But you can get this calculator software on your computer. There's also an Android app. There is no iPhone app. If you have your iPad or iPhone, if it's your school iPad, the district did buy the SmartView software for all of you. So it's going to be under self-service on your iPad. But I mean, most of you have an actual physical calculator, which, now that I'm thinking about it, if this goes to the end of the year, I have no idea how they're getting all the calculators back. I don't know. Just drop it in a tub of bleach whenever you get back to school. One of our daily chores at our house has been wiping down all of our doorknobs and handles and, you know, things like that with bleach wipes. It's been... Ugh. I don't think there is such a thing as being overly paranoid about this. Like, if you're doing it right, then you're going to feel like you did way too much. I'd much rather be on that extreme than the sick extreme, right? Yeah, again, I don't really have any specific things I need to talk about today. Because again, I'm not going to give you material every single day. That would be ridiculous, especially for an online class. But I will be available most of the day. I'll probably be hopping on here on and off randomly. The only commitment I have today, other than just answering y'all's questions, is I have a meeting with Rice University at 10 a.m. online. So I won't be available from 10 to 11. And then just for normal, like, lunch with kids and nap time things with my kids. But other than that, I should be available most of the day. And then if no one has any questions, I'll probably just stream some more Animal Crossing or something. I don't know. Does anyone online today have any particular questions? Or anything specific? It doesn't have to be about the test. It could be about homework. It could just be about the class. Alright, Omar, I'm going to go ahead and delete your comment here. Wait, let's see what... John, if you happen to be watching, I'll be more than happy to just go over the lecture again. But yeah, the PowerPoints should help a lot, especially, remember, you need to open them with the annotations on them. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Yeah, pre-cal, if y'all need me to go over that lecture again, I can do it much quicker now that we have it done already and annotated, but I can, you know, talk about it again. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that right now anyways, because I don't have anything on topic to talk about. Why not? Let's do it. I mean, I haven't gotten any email questions about either test yet, so... Okay, so I'm just going to do quick Cliff Notes version of what we talked about in the lecture yesterday. So cosecant and secant. So by the end of this, we're going to end up graphing all 6 of the functions, all 4 of the new functions. So cosecant, you know, it's by its definition, it's the reciprocal of sine. So if you take a look at that blue graph, that's what we learned how to draw sine before. Everywhere you hit the x-axis, so at... Here, let me use my mouse cursor. So over here at 0 degrees, 180 degrees, and 360 degrees, or the corresponding radians, you put these little vertical dotted lines. You do asymptotes, like that. And then anywhere you hit either the top or bottom of your wave of whatever function you have, then you just put a little dot there because they meet, and then you draw this weird U shape that goes up and down. The answer is only the red part. You don't need the blue part whenever you're doing the actual answer. If you get comfortable enough with the material, you don't need that original sine graph. And you can verify this by looking at your calculator. If you just try to, you don't have a cosecant button, but if you just try to draw 1 divided by sine, and remember to zoom trig, and then we're graphing this right here, the right half of this from 0 to 2 pi, 0 to 360. So you see how you don't need that little middle part if you don't want it. Secant, same logic except you start with a cosine graph. And then you only see half of this U shape up here because you only see half of the wave here just because cosine starts halfway through. And again, you could verify that with your calculator right here. Yeah, so you see how the graph starts at 0 degrees, so you're cutting this middle one in half. That's why it looks that way. So other than that, it's like an extra step you add to the end of a graphing sine and cosine problem, and that's why we spend so much time learning how to do all of the different things with sine and cosine, because once you see these problems, it is literally just the exact same thing as sine or cosine, except you add the one step at the end where you do the asymptotes and you do either the cosecant or the secant graph. So you still do the vertical shift, you still do the period change, you still do the phase shifting, you still do everything exactly the same, except you just draw a new picture at the end after you've done the sine or cosine part. Tangent and cotangent, I would highly recommend you just take a look at these on your calculator to verify what's going on with them. The weird thing about them is that the default period is only pi, is only 180 degrees. So even with no number here. So and you can look at the unit circle and you can divide the numbers a bunch and see that. But here is your parent tangent function. Here's your parent cotangent function. The weirdest thing that happens is tangent. Out of all 6 of them, tangent's the only one where your first period, your default one, goes through the origin and it's split across the middle. So you see how you go back here to negative 90 and over here to positive 90? That's a total width of 180 degrees. But you split it over the origin, so half of it goes in the negatives, half of it goes into the positives. And then it goes top left to, or bottom left to top right. So that direction. Cotangent does it normal, so it starts at 0, goes out, and again it's 180, but it does start from 0, so you don't have to split anything over the origin, and it goes the opposite direction, top left to bottom right. If you ever want to double check yourself, again, you always just use this, so you see. Again, it's periodic just like sine and cosine are, so it does go forever. We're drawing this middle one right here. And then if you want to do cotangent, just do 1 divided by tangent. And then this one we go 0 out to pi. And then again, just introduce your numbers, do everything just the same as before. The best way to organize your work when you're doing all these graphing problems, if you don't remember, is set up your axes, label your y-axis, so do your vertical shifting and your amplitude first, then you do your x-axis, do your period change and your sideways shifting, and then draw your parent function, whatever the parent function is. So the newest thing with the 4 new ones we learned yesterday is that they all have these asymptotes, they all have these vertical dotted lines, which are required. They don't show up on your calculator because they're not, you know, they are technically imaginary, but they are boundaries you're not allowed to cross. And most, if not every pre-cal teacher I have ever known or had as a teacher will make you draw those. So that's your Cliff Notes version of the lecture from yesterday. Hopefully that helped a little bit address some of your questions, and those of you that aren't on right now, I can, you know, hopefully the video can help out a little bit. Yeah. Any other questions from anybody in chat? Just remember, you have all day. I know you've got other stuff, you know, other than just life. You've got other classes, you've got other stuff to take care of, so do all that too. The deadline tonight for dual credit is a pretty hard deadline. For pre-cal, it is too, but to an extent because it's also a high school class. If you have an extenuating circumstance, just be sure to, if you don't upload your test, be sure to email me before the deadline. And if I have that documentation, I can try to work with you a little bit on what happens with the grade. Also remember, it's transition to 80-20, so your tests are now worth less than your homework. So don't stress that much. Dual credit, that's not the case. Dual credit, you're still under the same weights that we've had before. Also, yeah, if you have any questions about any other classes, like I've already been answering physics questions all week, I will be more than happy to either answer them for you or help you look for them. Oh, I just got an email. So one of the things, if you didn't take a look at the stream on the Google Classroom, one of the questions is, where do I look on Khan Academy? Because I can't really, other than my videos, you can't really find anything. So if you look at courses, it's actually not pre-calculus. We're doing trigonometry. So you need to head to trigonometry. And then the stuff we're doing right now, here we go, graphs of sine, cosine, and tangent, amplitude, midline. You don't have to worry about the extrema. That's just the max and the min stuff. But this is all what we're doing right now. We're going to be doing this next. How are y'all doing with modifying? I guess many of you haven't tried yet, but if you want to actually do a PDF and try to edit it, I mean, honestly, I literally just went to Google and I went edit PDF online, something like that. And all of these websites are going to do the same thing. You just upload a PDF, write on it, and then you save it again. I would do it on the iPad so that you can actually use a stylus or your finger or something to write. But yeah, all of these do the exact same thing. If you don't want to do that, just use the Notes app on your iPad or something, save it as a PDF. So I don't have a plug for my iPad, but your iPad, if you just use Notes. See? So if you just use Notes, you can make a new note. And then on the bottom corner, you have the pen icon. You can write all over it. See? There you go. Once you do that, you just hit the share button and then it'll let you export it as a PDF. Yeah. Okay. Or just use, again, just write on actual physical paper, use Genius Scan, use some kind of PDF scanner. They're all over every iPad and phone, Android or iPhone. Yep. Anything else? I mean, I'm available all morning, but at least until 10 o'clock. I just don't have a topic or a lecture or anything today. Well, just oh look, getting an email. Oh yeah, if you haven't heard, Harris County just went under stay-at-home order. So, just look up Harris County stay-at-home or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be the top trending topic. But don't leave your house unless it is an essential or an emergency or anything like that. Don't go to the park. I mean, if you do, then don't touch any equipment or playground equipment. Don't play basketball. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people play pickup ball, and that's even before coronavirus. That was pretty gross on your hands because everyone's touching the ball. Just, I mean, be smart about what you're doing. Hopefully, I want all of you to be okay and to be safe. It does affect younger people too. It's not just old people that are getting hospitalized by this. If you didn't hear yesterday, we had a positive case down here in Webster. There's a daycare down here where a kid and a worker had coronavirus. So it's everywhere. Don't just think that it's on the news. Oh, you know what? The date on the stream is wrong. Whoops. I'm going to edit that real quick. Live editing on stream. There we go. Okay, if no one has any specific questions, I'm gonna shut off the recording at least.